Hello, welcome to the 12th day of March 2022. A bit of a recovery day. I didn't do this yesterday. I planned to. I went back out to the desert to Siberia Ghost Town and then to the edge of deep water. And I had planned to do the good life out there, but it didn't happen. So I skipped a day. True limits, huh? That wasn't a real opportunity, and it was a true limit. Okay, so yesterday was a telling day for me. I'm still digesting the experience. I don't know if it was, how much of it was just the fact of my more sedate life, that I don't ride that big motorcycle much anymore. And that takes a certain type of fitness to do that, for, for 500 miles in a day. And plus there's another part of me which says that my work out there in the desert is done. And so there's a psychological element that it's like returning to a place where you don't need to go anymore. The utility there is used up. Between those two, the reality lies. But basically, I don't think I need to go back there anymore. And if I do, it's because I'm trying to recapture and relive and experience the season of philosophy when my muse was very active. And frankly, that's okay. I mean, what's the okay part? It's okay that part is over. I'm like a guy who's finished his story. And I really, and I don't feel a pressing need to press on with it anymore. I mean, I could, but I don't, it's almost like a relief to, okay, whew, I got it. I got my story out. And then just enjoy the remaining years. Pardon me. Goodness gracious, that's so gross. So that's why I usually don't have coffee in the morning, because for some reason it does that. So, but I'm worn out from yesterday. I need a little pick me up. So I'm like one of these guys that's in a transition, between a very good part of life that is now complete and the taking up of another chapter. I've been here many times. Well, many. 5 maybe. So anyway, I have to work my way through that. I think I know what's next. What's next is to continue the new adventure that I have, which is the adventure into deep literature, which I really, really enjoy, and is a very timely thing for me. There's literally nothing I prefer better than to sit in this chair here and read my books, or to strap on the dogs and go for a long meander through the neighborhood reading my book. I walk and read, which people point out to me. They're like, how do you do that? Aren't you gonna... My standard answer is, well, I've only run into one light post this week. And I really have only run into light posts maybe every month, once a month. I usually don't hit them. I like, whoa, right there. But I really do like this adventure into deep literature. And I've got a huge stack of books over there to read. And I've got whatever remains of my life left to do it. And frankly, I feel no more pulled to go back out into the wild, because I think that mission is complete. In the same way that my mission in Japan was complete when I was, playing the part of Softy Papa over there and going out and doing a band in Japan and all that. I went through the same type of thing in about the same period. It was like a couple of years before I came back to America. I was like, Kurt, I think this is done. And I kept on doing it. But it was missing something. It didn't have the finality of writing a book, though. Writing a book really does, and completing the book, completing the editing, really getting it all done, really puts a fine point on a period, on an activity, on an event. Finishing Going Alone. And I really consider The Good Life is really just the wind down from that. Now, I don't know that I'm actually going to be able to pull anything off with that book. It may be just the residue of, it was really Going Alone was the one. But it's like when I went across the finish line on Going Alone, I still had momentum, and I wrote The Good Life, which is actually a bigger book. There's more pages, but it doesn't have the it's not the race. The Good Life is just it's got something in there. It's not the story. Going Alone is the story. And then No More Looking Out for Number One. That's its own thing, and it's a story in its own self too. But it's really almost like another chapter of Going Alone. But it's good that it's a separate book. Never really realized that until just now. So what I'm trying to say is, yesterday I went out. It was like a painter that has picked a spot to paint a beautiful scene or a tragic scene or whatever kind of a scene, a landscape. And they'd come out and they'd spent all their time and they'd painted on and all of that. And that's pretty good. I'm happy with this. I painted this scene, and then they come back. Well, I already painted this. I mean, it's nice and all. I don't see it the same way anymore because I painted it. But maybe I'll do something else. That's how it feels to go out to Siberia now, like returning to something that I'm spent. Another way that it feels, that this is going to sound a little derogatory. It's like after sex. When, you're like, well, that was great, but whew, I'm done. That's what it's like to go out to Siberia now. Boy, that would be a hell of a Facebook post, wouldn't it? Imagine the photo caption. Yeah. So I may not be going out there. If anything, just to, for remembrance. But on the way back, riding back, I was like, maybe I'll sell my motorcycle. Because I really don't need it anymore. I'm just paying for insurance and registration. And I don't commute to work anymore, and I don't think I need to go to the desert. Well, maybe I'll just take it off. I'll think about it. Talk to my wife. Pardon me, Yumiko will respond with some pithy, pointed, perfect answer. Yeah, I'll talk to her about it today when we go have lunch together. But my mission was good. I got a whole big bag of rocks. That went out there to get some rocks for Michael's kids. This one I'm keeping for myself. I'll sort through the rest. It doesn't come too very good. The light's not so good. But I needed a paperweight. So I got this for myself as a paperweight. Now, I don't know just what it is. I was kind of thinking maybe it was petrified wood, but I don't think so. I don't know. I just really like it. It's kind of dusty. I'll clean up all the rocks and sort them later. I'll put that down there for now. Didn't get as many as I could have. I kind of ran out of energy and time. The heat kind of struck up on me. I didn't think the desert killer would be anywhere near the area, but I wasn't in any danger. But I did get kind of panicked for a little bit, for just a short while. It's kind of panicky. It's like the same panic when you swim. And I literally used to do this with my friend Glenn Peck. We'd swim way the hell out in the ocean. Idiots. Off of Santa Barbara. I mean, we would be so far out in the ocean, he and I. We'd have fins on it. We'd be so far out in the ocean that boats motoring along the coast would be between us and the shore. We almost got run over by boats a couple of times. Maybe it was just that once. I don't know why we did that. But good God, what idiots we were, especially when I watch those videos now of, like, sharks that can trying to banging onto paddle boards. People are out there doing their paddle thing and the shark's banging on it. But there were times when Glenn and I would do that. Glenn Peck and I would do that, and I would kind of look back at the shore and like, oh, holy crap. What are we doing? And that happened yesterday. I was out there on the edge of deep water. It was around 2 p.m. Just as things are scorching up to their hottest. And my what is it called? A gutra? Or whatever it is. My Yemeni headgear was a total. I couldn't get it to work. And the thing about it, the deep desert, what I mean by the deep desert, that's over the top talk. The desert, that area out there, there's no shade. And then the sun is relenting. Even though it's not as powerful as it would be in the summertime, it's still unrelenting. And I could feel my fingers swelling, which is an early sign that I'm my body's getting too hot. And I was like, oh crap, because I was a long ways away from the nearest shade would be under the bridge, not the riding bridge, but a railroad bridge at the edge of Siberia. And I decided to pack things up and get out of there. So I didn't get to the area where the best rocks are found. But I think I got some good ones because I found some. They get better the higher the elevation as you're going up towards the edge of deep water. I made it within a quarter mile of the edge of deep water. Pardon me again. So they were good. The rocks I got are fine. They'll pardon me. But that was a sobering moment. To be like, I did it again. Here I am. Out too far. Time to swim back. So I swam back and sat under the railroad bridge and cooled down. The railroad bridge doesn't have much depth. It's not very. So like right above me, then the trains would roll over. Boom, boom, boom. It's kind of neat. Okay, I think that's going to take the whole day to recover, and that's a good thing. It's good to have experiences in life that we need to recover from. I never have that experience here in my office. I never have to recover from a good stretch of reading. I sometimes have to remember to breathe when I read a passage that's really moving, but it's different. I wonder if I can do well without that part of life anymore. Or maybe it's just a matter of resuming, like maybe when I get back to Japan, I'll be able to resume that in a different way. Probably. Because I'm not a sedate person. Like I said, I would rather walk and read my book than sit here. Let's do the good life. I'm going to do the lightning round. Because I'm pooped. 7 objectives. I'm going to count this time, see if I can get them right. 1, to be always ready to die. 2, good and effective use of time. 3, the development and maintenance of good and sound life principles. 4, the cultivation of good emotional reactions. 5, the performance of good actions. 6, the recognition of true limits and true opportunity. And 7, one thinks slowly. Now the 30 principles. This is the one where I sometimes come up with 29. 1, war. 2, reason. 3, the homunculus. 4, Anchorhold. 5, the home of good and evil. 6, purpose. 7, atomic principle. 8, pirate ride. 9, maturity. 10, social principle. 11, public speaking. 12, temperance. 13, the horror show. 14, that which must be born. 15, the Feast of Offal. 16, distraction. 17, agency in the great indifference. 19, best seat in the house. 20, oh no, I've screwed up my numbers. I've literally screwed up my numbers. 20 is, I don't know if it's 19 or 20 now. I think I'm off. I might be off by one. Is I've lost it. Like I said, my brain is gone. Yesterday really took something out of me. In a good way. It's good to be spent. Again, no, I won't say that. It's too vulgar. I don't even know where I was. I lost it. I think the risk of avoiding risk, maybe? I'm not even going to try counting anymore. I'm off. The risk of avoiding risk, followed by sin and damnation, followed by complete oblivion, then you know what I need? I need a rosary. Maybe that's why people do that, because it's like, instead of doing that, you just tick along. Oh, that sounds sacrilegious. Complete oblivion, the great life adventure, the season of philosophy, the bullseye aim, the uphill climb, arena in utility, nothing is enough, and the principle of fun. Well, cut through it in of a sort, huh? And I was thinking yesterday out in the desert about something else. I might have wanted to adjust one of these, but again, I didn't record it. Now it's gone. Boy, I'm kind of a... That trip yesterday was like getting punched in the face in a boxing match, and left me dizzy and unsettled. If anything, that's a good reason to go. Because I like being dizzy and unsettled. The last thing I want to ever be is sedate and comfortable and warm and at peace. That's an interesting, because that's, at my age especially, closing in on 60, sedate, warm, and in peace is kind of the road to the grave. Just like, going and settling into my coffin. This chair almost could be viewed that way, right? If I spend my days right here in this chair, just with Jesus. What a thought that is, settling into my coffin. Maybe I better not sell my motorcycle. But it doesn't have to be the motorcycle. It's just the frame of mind. Because even though it beat the crap out of me yesterday, it's a good thing. It's just that I'm older and it's awfully tiring too. But retreating back to this little place right here has its dangers too. I'll have to think about that. Have a good day. Oh, but plan for the day, I almost forgot. Today I'm going to finish this. I'll read a little bit. Then I'm going to feed the dogs, begin my house cleaning. I've got a wedding to attend this afternoon, virtually, which I'm going to do. And then Yumiko will have, somewhere in there we'll throw in lunch together and do some shopping. Yeah. Oh, or maybe we'll shop tomorrow, because we're planning to go to Irvine tomorrow. Anyway, take care. Be safe, but not too safe.